Hey guys, so now what we need to do is we need to be able to transfer the start of your final project website and transfer it to a remote server so that other people, me, your classmates, your family members, friends, users that are going to test your website, they can all access it through there and not have to try to access it through your home computer, which, as you can probably guess, is not safe for your private information. So you have to do this with every website that you create. You start building it on your desktop, and then you move all of those files onto a remote server. And that's basically what a website is it's just a place where we can access the folder of your files. So how we do this, because you're in a class, is we do it using something called EDUPE. And so I want to go through that process with you of how to actually start moving your files over there. So first thing you're going to do is go to the content area, and you're going to click on the syllabus and find the page called Host Info EDUPE. Now, as you can see here, I have all the steps that you need, and then you'll see my information here. Please don't use my information. If I were to scroll down more, you'd see your information indicated by your last name, but because I don't want to put that on this video, you'll just have to trust that that's there. So, please don't use another person's information. We're trusting everybody to be adult and college students here, so just, want to throw that out there. So you're going to follow along, but use your own info, not my info, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up a new tab and move it over here so that we can see the steps and still complete them here. Now what we have in this folder, this is my folder for my animal shelter website, and it includes all kinds of stuff. It has my homepage called index.html, and it's really important that it's named that and that you have this when you first start transferring into your remote host. And then I also have a page called support.html. I have some images in here, which you may or may not have at this point. I even have some of my designer files, like this AI file for the logo. And I actually have a folder in here called designer files. And that's where I can put all these, like this is where I got icons for animals and things like that. So I like to put everything into this project folder, literally everything I use to build the website. So I also have this about.html page, etc. So we're going to go ahead and move all of this so that it's live online. So how we do this is we're going to find our section below indicated by your last name. So here it is. And then in the SFTP file transfer URL line, so this line right here, this is the URL that you're going to want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that link, and you can just, click it and it'll go into it. But I want you to see these side by side. And what's going to happen is it's going to come up with this tunnel lamp, blah, 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 not found. So when this comes up, all you have to do to fix that, and this is in step 3, is you need to come into your URL and type in HTTPS 2// and then hit enter or return. Okay, so now we are in the area where we can actually start putting our information in. So we're going to switch to SFTP. So we're on step 4. And then step 5 for the host name, look at your info below and find network hostname ID. So network hostname ID for me is this one. So I'm going to copy it and paste it into here. And then the username for everybody is just root. And that just means the starting folder. So then for the initial directory, which again means starting folder, copy and paste the following into that area. So we're going to copy this stuff up here. You're not going to find it in your information. It's going to be up here. So I'm going to copy this and paste that in there, or you can just type that in. Just make sure you get everything correct. And then we're going to change the authentication type to password. And then you should be able to see your password in your information. So I'll go ahead and paste that. And then you can choose to keep logged in. I don't like to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit connect. Okay, so if you want to save that password, you can. Again, I'm not going to do that. So a couple things in here. This folder called MFTP, don't mess with that. Don't go into that. Don't move it. Don't change the name. Don't do anything to it. Same thing for the web console. These two files are just files that need to stay in here, so don't delete them. So just basically leave these 4 things alone. We just want to upload our website into this area. So down here, there's this little button called upload if you hover over it. And just so you know, you can download your stuff. And if you hover over all of these things, you can see what all of these different buttons are going to do. But for right now, just for ease of use, we're going to choose upload. So now we're going to choose, do we want to upload a file, upload a folder, or upload a zip? Well, it's easier just to use the file, and then it's going to ask you, what do you want to upload? Well, I'm going to go find my animal shelter website, and I'm actually going to load all of these. Notice that when I go to highlight everything, see how it doesn't put the designer files in there? So it'll have a hard time with folders, and if it does, then you can click in here and upload those, but just know that the file structure or the folder structure does matter. So I would create, well, first let's just upload these files. So if you can see it, which you can't, so let me fix it. I'm going to just hit open, and it is going to load all of my files in there. Okay, so now technically my site is live. How do we actually see that? Well, we actually see that by clicking a new tab, and we can come over here and do, which one is it? The server primary URL. So I'm going to copy this and paste that in there. And there we go. So there's my live site. And because I had all those pictures loaded in, and I had like a dogs.html and a support.html, these should all be working now. So if I come back in here, if I were to delete about.html, let's delete that. Well, first let's check and make sure. See how it's there? We'll go back home, and if I delete this and hit refresh, nothing changed here, but if I click on about, see how it says it's not found? So just be careful with that, and all I have to do is now just upload that about.html, and then refresh it, and there you go. And see how it's about.html. Now the home page is actually that index.html. So again, it's really important that you had that index.html. So now I talked to you about if you had folders. Now that's going to make your site more complicated, like if you had all of your portfolio stuff in a folder, but not impossible. So what you would need to do is you would need to, let's do upload folder here. And I'm going to choose designer files and upload 4 files to the site. Let's upload that. And now you can see there's a folder called designer files. And inside of that designer files, I have all of these. So just be careful. You're going to have to choose file if they're truly files. But if you have a folder, you need to choose upload folder. So I can go back up to the top level with this button. Again, make sure you're not deleting. If you do come in here and start fresh at some point, don't delete the MFTP, the web console, HT access, and robots.txt. Okay. So this is all there is to it. Anytime you make changes, if I were to come into my website and let's just make one change. Let's open index.html with brackets. And I'm going to come in here and just make one little change. At the top, I'm going to type a paragraph. This is the change. Okay. File, save. Now, that's not going to show up over here. You would see it above this H1 if it worked, because we haven't uploaded the newest version of this to our website. So back in here, we're going to go upload file, and we're going to make sure that we upload the new index.html. Now, if I had changed any styles, I would need to also upload the styles, or if I had added any images, I would need to also upload those images. So just be aware of any files that you change, you need to then upload them, and any files that you add, you need to upload them as well. So I'll go ahead and hit open, and it says, this already exists, you want to replace it with the uploaded file? Yes, because this is the newest version of that file. So I'll do upload and replace. And now when I come hit refresh, you should see this is the change. Okay. So again, I can show you that one more time by just deleting this and then doing file save, coming up here and hitting upload, and it's going to go back to normal. Upload and replace. refresh. There you go. So now anytime you want to show this to somebody or share it in a discussion or show it to a classmate, whatever, you can copy this, and this is the URL that you'd use. Now, if you had a true host, they would give you the same kind of information, maybe not as complicated as this, and you would use that FTP, enter all your information. You'd still upload the same way. The only difference is that usually a host has a domain name. You usually purchase a domain name with it. So if I had bought pauserescue.org, then they tie that pauserescue.org to your server. So instead, you wouldn't see this generic like testing type of URL. You'd really see pauserescue.org. Okay. So otherwise, you should be good to go to start putting your website up. If you have any questions, let me know.